Hello. Is it summer you're looking for? Because that's what I'm looking for. I think this is my most favorite hat that I've ever bought, and I've got a really cool look to go along with it today. So if you want to see what my summer garden party looks like, stick around. So step one, since I know for a garden party you're outside most of the day, is to put sunscreen on. Once my sunscreen is complete, I'm going to go in with my eye primer, and I will be using the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish eye primer. For my look today, I'm going to be using the Disney Designer Collection by ColourPop. It has all these really gorgeous colors in here. So first thing, I'm going to go in with my transition color, and I'll be using this color right here, which is called Grumpy. And starting with a loose and fluffy blending brush, I will take it above my crease, just spreading it over so that we're not going right into that crease color that I'll be putting in. Then I'm going to go in with this nice orangey brown color called a Boo, and I'm going to take a slightly smaller blending brush for that because I want the pigment to come out a little bit more. And I'm just using light circular motions to apply a Boo. You know, I think if I had the chance to name a Disney princess palette, I probably would have gone with a bit different names. So now the next color that I'm going to go in with is this kind of sparkly pink color here called Enchanted Rose. And I'm going to take that into this corner and I'm going to pat it on, not blending too much because I really want that sparkly pigment to come out. But I'm connecting it to a Boo and going just a little above my natural crease. And I'm only going along a third of my eyelid. Once I have the right amount built up, the next color I'm going to go in is One Kiss, ? This is one of the ones that I just don't understand the name for. I feel like they could have gone for, I don't know, like there's tons of gold references in those movies. They could have gone for another name. If you think of a better name for One Kiss, let me know. But I'll show you how it applies so you can pick that name. So I'll be going with One Kiss in the center here and doing the same thing that I did with Enchanted Rose, taking it up to just above my natural crease line. And again, just patting it in. And as I go to blend it with Enchanted Rose, I'm just kind of patting it right beside it, and then I'm going to take small circles to just kind of blend the two colors together. And now going in with this light and peachy, sparkly shimmer called Ray. I don't even remember a Ray in any of the movies. I've been trying to figure out who it's for. But I'll be doing the same thing as I did with One Kiss and Enchanted Rose. And I'm just kind of pressing it on. And then when it comes to blending, just lightly diffusing. And with Ray, I'm going to pack it on as much as possible and then drag it down and around the corner of my eye. And then I'm just going to go back in with a Boo, just a light amount with the same brush that I used before, just to darken it up and just to brush away any sparkles that have come up into the color a Boo. Once I'm happy with my eyeshadow, I go in with my eyeliner, and today I'll be using L'Oreal Paris Carbon Black Liner Intense. I'm not going to do a super long wing, so I'll just start in the corner here with a little flick out, and just about there is good today. I'll start in the other direction just to connect it to the edge of that lower lash line, and then I'll start laying the whole brush down, trying to use as much surface area as possible. So that was the first step, and now I'm just going to quickly do my other eye before we move on to foundation. Before applying my foundation, I'm going to go in with primer so I get a long-lasting effect. And the primer I'll be using today is Dr. Brandtt Luminous Primer. You know, I hate to admit it, but if I forget a step in my makeup routine, it's usually primer, and that's probably one of the most important steps to making sure that you get the most use and long wear out of your makeup. The foundation that I will be using today is Becca Ultimate Coverage, and the color that I use is Vanilla. I'm just going to put a little squirt on the back of my hand and take my wet beauty blender and begin blending it into my skin. You know, for a long time, I actually didn't know that you needed to wet your beauty blender, but it makes such a difference because the blender doesn't soak up as much as your product. You know, I never would have bought this foundation for myself, or I never would have picked it out for myself. But I had a subscription box to something called BoxyCharm, where they send you full-size products every month for $25 US. It's actually a really good deal. And for anyone who's looking to explore new makeup but just doesn't know how to buy those things for themselves, BoxyCharm is really good for getting you out of your comfort zone. I know for me, for a long time, contouring was something that I never really dabbled with. And when I started getting BoxyCharm, I found that it came with a lot of like highlighters and contour kits. So I started trying out new techniques and found I actually really enjoyed it. I just didn't know how to do it. And once I had the proper tools and the right shades for my skin, it made a huge difference. And I found myself less scared to try contouring because the first step was already done for me. And now just going in with a little bit of setting powder. And for that, I will be using Ciate coconut setting powder. So I'm just going to let the setting powder soak into my foundation. And while that happens, I'm going to do my eyebrows. And just to save time on today's video, I think I'm going to do my eyebrows off camera. Ta-da! Eyebrows are done. Now I'm going to go in with my contour. And today I will be using the Tarteist Pro Glow Contour and Highlight Palette. And I will be using the cream contour for this. And I'm just sort of placing a little bit along my hairline, and then I'm blending it down so that if there's a concentration of color, it's at my hairline, so it'll blend in a bit better and make my forehead look a little bit smaller. And I just kind of follow my natural hairline, but as I'm blending it down, I'm creating a circular effect, so I'm going to have a circle. So once my contour is complete, I'm going to go in with my concealer, and I'll be using the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear in color Oatmeal. Your face after doing your eyes is that if it's got patchy edges or it's not blended the way you like, when you go in with your concealer or your foundation, you can sharpen up those edges, no problem. Once I have my concealer to the way that I like, going back in with setting powder. I always use a little bit more setting powder for my concealer, just because I really want to make sure that it doesn't get too much in the creases. So my concealer is set, so I'm going to go back in to my lash line with the ColourPop palette. And I'm going to start with the shade of Boo and just drag it along my lash line and then blend it downwards. Now everyone does this a little differently, how far they're going to drag it down, but I want to make my eye appear bigger. So I'm going to pull that down to just where my eyeball starts to round out. And then once I have that blended out nicely, just going in with one kiss, just along the edge to add a little sparkle and to blend it out a little bit. It creates a really nice effect. Because then I'm just going to quickly do that on the other side before I go in with mascara. This is my favorite part of doing my makeup because up until this point I feel like everything looks just a little messy because it hasn't come together yet, but I feel like this is the moment where the pieces are all starting to fit in properly. From mess to yes, as I like to say. Mascara that I'm going to be using today is Grande Drama Intense Thickening. This one gets such a good lifted effect. It's been one of my favorites. This was another one that I got in one of those BoxyCharm boxes. Again, wouldn't have thought to buy it for myself, but I'm glad I was given the opportunity to use it, and now I think the next time that I need mascara, I'm probably going to try a different kind. Et voila, lashes complete. Next I'm going to go in with my bronzer, blush, and highlighter. So for my bronzer today, I'm going to go back into my Tarteist Pro Glow palette, and I'm going to use Fire, which is just above the cream contour there. And I'm just going to go back over all those places that I contoured, just adding a little bit more definition and some sparkle to my face. And just making sure I'm blending it out. For blush, I want a nice peach shade to match the eyeshadow that I have going on, but I don't actually have a peach shade blush, so I'm going to go into my NYX Ultimate Multi-Finish Shadow Palette. It's got this kind of peachy brown color that will make a nice blush for today's look. And I'm just taking a little bit, tapping it off, stamping it down, and then blending it in. And now for my highlighter, I'm still going to use that Tarteist Pro Glow palette, and I'm going to use Stunner. It just feels like for a garden party, I want to be stunning. And I'll just build that up lightly. For this look, I feel like a darker red will look really nice with it, so I'm going to start off by lining my lips with the Moisture Renew Clear Liner by Rimmel London. I tend to use a clear liner whenever I don't have a lipstick or a lip liner that will go well on the outside of a lipstick. And this just helps keep your lipstick in place, and it's less likely to bleed out onto your foundation. Then for my lip color, I'm going in with the Rimmel London Long Lasting Finish from the Kate Moss line. And it doesn't have a name for the color, but it's shade 107. I don't know if they carry this line specifically anymore, but I know I've seen versions of this lip color. This is one of my favorites because I can put it on in the morning, and then by the time lunch rolls around, I'll eat my lunch, and I barely have to put any more on because the stay power on it is so good. Okay, here's the final look. So I'm just going to go pop on my garden party outfit, and we'll get the party started. And there you have it, guys. This is the final garden party look. With everything that's going on right now, I'm really trying to perk myself up and get myself ready as if we are going to have a summer where we can go to parties and where we can be out in the sun, lounging with friends, or going to the beach. So I'm preparing for best case scenario, but if not, then I can say that I tried. I hope you had a lot of fun today. I hope you enjoyed this look inspired by my favorite sun hat. If you liked today's look, don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel so you can see my next look. Let me know if you enjoyed this as much as I did. Maybe I'll do more themed looks like this. But now I'm gonna go make myself a cocktail and lounge in my backyard. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. In high school, I used to do a lot of musical theater, and one time I was in a play where I was the Little Mermaid. I sat in a tub the whole time. It was great. So for my bronzer today, I'm going to go back into my Tarteist Pro Glow. I actually used to know a lot of the words to most Disney songs. Mulan was a big one. I'll make a man out of you. Ooh, That's my jam.